So, if you haven't guessed already, I'm back after a long while at Penavan. I'm gonna go back on my word a little bit. I said I'd never camp here, but that's exactly what I'm going to do today. As you can see, conditions are pretty grim. It's a complete whiteout and the wind has been relentless. Weirdly, the calmest bit is right up here at the summit, which is good because this is pretty much exactly where I plan to camp. So I'm going to get the tent up as quick as I can. The GoPro battery's already dying just from the walk up, so I'll have to put a new battery in here. But yeah, let's go find somewhere to pitch the dome from home. So tent is all set up. I didn't film much of it just because every time I turned the camera on, the GoPro was turning off pretty much straight away. So as you can imagine, it's a bit cold up here. The forecast is for -5, I think, with a wind chill of -11, but luckily I found a spot out of the wind. Like I said, the walk in was brutal. There was some really strong winds. I was a bit worried that I'd be scuppered again. This is a camp that I've planned for years, really years. That's not an exaggeration. But for the last 3 weeks, I've had the bag packed and everything ready to go. Twice I've been scuppered by storms. I think it was Darren, Eowyn, and then last week I came up here and it was just wind, rain, cold. I don't mind any of those, but all three together, just absolutely not. But honestly, you've got no idea how happy this makes me. I know it don't look like much. There is nothing to see, but for me, this is years in the making. I have wanted to do a proper camp on a summit in the snow for forever, since I've got into this sort of thing. And to do it here at Penavan, which is a place that I said I'd never camp on, I thought with the conditions, no one's going to be up here. This is my best chance to do it and get some solitude, and I'm so glad I have. It's just gone 5:30. Sunset was, I think, at 20 past, so we've got the little remnants left. I'm all set up in the tent. I'm not going to show you all that stuff. It's the usual gear. It's the Thermarest Rab Ascent 900, so all the usual stuff you've seen before if you've watched the channel. But yeah, this one's more about the experience for me and getting out in these sort of conditions. So I've been in the tent for, I don't know, an hour maybe. Just took my time getting everything set up. The biggest disaster so far is that I forgot to bring a lighter, and the stove I brought doesn't have a piezo on it, which means I've got no way of boiling my water to either have a coffee or to have my food tonight. I'm going to be going hungry unless I do it with cold water. I don't even know. I've got a dehydrated meal. Can I do it with cold water? It probably wouldn't be that nice, so it's not the worst thing I could have forgot. I've got everything essential to keep me warm. Tent, sleeping bag, mat, coat, thermals, so I'll be alright. I've got, I don't know if you noticed, I've got a dodgy lip. I burnt my lip and it's blistered. So darkness has fallen. It's not going to be light for 12 hours plus, which is the reason I brought the helm with me tonight. I was going to bring the Zefrost when I seen the forecast for the wind originally, because it can hunker down a little bit better out the wind. But I thought the amount of time you spend in tents when you're in winter, then I wanted something with a bit more room. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, this trip is years in the making, and I can't tell you how happy I am. It sounds so stupid to be happy about being stuck in a tent in the cold for 13, 14 hours, but it's the experience for me that I wanted. I've done sub-zero before, not a problem. I mean, this is definitely going to be the coldest I've done with the wind chill. I think I said earlier it's going to be minus 11 or minus 12, so it's going to be a cold one. I've made sure I've packed that side of the tent. The fly is slightly off the ground, so I've packed the snow and I've built a little kind of wall around the tent. I've buried the tent in. I dug the snow out before I put it in. I've double pegged everything as well around the guy lines just in case the wind does pick up. But the worst of it is forecast to be now, which is why I've been so lucky with it. Once I got to the summit, it died right off. But yeah, I'm gonna sit and chill out for a few hours before I no doubt will get you back in a bit before I go off to sleep for the night. So I'll catch you a little bit later on. So it's about 9:30. I've been sat chilling. It's just absolutely still. The forecast was wind up until about midnight, but for about the last hour it's just been so still. So it's just meant that everything's getting a little damper than usual, and obviously in these conditions it's pretty much freezing as soon as it touches anything. So yeah, the the inside of the fly is already freezing over, even though it's relatively early, only like I said 9 o'clock ish. I'm going to try and get my head down. I was working nights last night, so I've only got maybe 2 hours sleep when I got home from work this morning before I came up here. So I'm going to try and catch up on some Zeds. I'll bid you farewell. I'll catch you in the morning when hopefully we've got a bit more of a view, but I doubt it. Morning. That was interesting. I slept pretty well actually, to be fair. I woke up a few times. I heard a couple of voices around about 3 o'clock, so I don't know what they would have been doing up here. But I cannot believe the condensation in this tent. It was so still last night that every little bit of moisture has condensed. The inner has got droplets all over it, which are frozen in parts, and the outer, well, I'll show you. So yeah, my sleeping bag, there's a few damp patches on it from obviously where it's been against the inner. Even my hood, because I had my hood up to keep myself warm on the back of my head. The back of the hood is wet as well, but I was warm. That was the main thing. I've had a look out already this morning, and it's pretty much exactly the same conditions as yesterday. It's just white. Can't see anything. I was hoping they might have cleared, but like I said, they're just not going anywhere. So I think I'll probably be packing up soon. Sunrise is going to be in about 20 minutes. Obviously I'm not going to see that, but it's already getting light outside, so I'm going to use this time to get myself packed away, and I'll get off the hill nice and early. I couldn't be happier, honestly. I'm so landed. I've come up and done this. Like I said, the reason I've not bothered attempting coming up here is just because of the amount of people. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy. I know I don't sound it. It's just because I'm tired. I've just literally woken up. So. But yeah, over the moon. It's so cold, I can't even get my boots on. They've frozen. Oh, wow. They're tight. Wow. It's definitely colder this morning than it was last night, despite the wind. A quick check of the tent. Shows how cold it was. Yeah. When I buried the tent last night, it's definitely piled up more. The poles. That's going to be a lot heavier going down than it was coming up last night, put it that way. Yeah, so I'm pitched just off the path. It's you're never going to see it, but it is literally there, and the summit is probably 20 metres that way. In fact, shall we go and have a look? We close the tent up first and we'll go and have a look. Even my boot laces are just frozen where they are. It's unbelievable, these conditions. I've not come far from the tent, but look, you wouldn't know I was there, even if you're on the path. Look at the summit, look at this ice. Can't even scrape it off. I can safely say that of all the times I've been up here, this is the quietest. There's been a few temperature inversions over the last few weeks up here. I've seen loads of photos on Facebook and things like that. I was hoping, I'm not going to lie, I know the forecast is pretty much bang on. These were the conditions they said, but wow, that is glass. Wow. Glad I got the micro spikes with me. Right, see if I can find my tent. See if I can trace my my footprints back. I know it's this way somewhere. Look at what I've got to search through. Oh, there we go. I think I can see it. That camera actually picks it up better. I could hardly see that then, and I looked in the camera screen and I could see it clearly. Wow, that's bonkers. So my gloves that I used to dig out a little bit of the snow for the tent last night, I put them in the tent to keep them warmish, and they've still frozen over. I was inside the tent with me. Shows you how cold it was. But I'm hoping that they'll warm up a little bit. I don't want my hands getting cold, but I've got to put something on to bash all this snow off the tent. Right, that's 99% of the snow and ice bashed off. I'll have to give the tent a good airing out when I get home, but for now, all I'll have to do. I'll tell you something I've been impressed with on this trip is these little micro spikes. Well, you call them spikes, springs. Can't even remember where I got them. I bought them years ago with the premise of doing this, and I've never ever managed to get round to it. So I finally got use out of them yesterday coming up, and they were absolutely superb. If I could find where I got them, probably Amazon or something like that, I reckon, knowing me. But yeah, if I could find them, I'll put a link down in the description. But yeah, well worth it. I know that they definitely wouldn't have been that expensive. Let's face it, I bought them, so there's going to be budget. But hey, they worked. They worked really well yesterday. Everything's squared away now apart from the tent. I've seen a couple of people making their way to the summit already this morning. It's only 8:10, so they must have set off really early. But yeah, this has been a good one. Absolutely incredible. When it's like this, I don't care about views or anything like that. This was all about the conditions for me, all about the experience. If I'd got views, then it would have been a bonus. But just seeing this wiped out, this mental, absolutely crazy. Top tip for taking your pegs out. Make sure all your pegs have got a little bit of cord. Most of them will come with. These ones didn't, I've just added to them. And then you can use that loop, stick another peg through it. Makes it a lot easier to pull it out. Well, there we go. That was me hammering them in yesterday. So hard the ground was. See, there was only the first inch or two that was solid, and then it went in fine. But oh well, new stakes it is. Tell you one other thing I've noticed as well. I've got these stakes which came with a bit of red cord on, and then my stakes that came with the tent, I've put this cord on. I'd recommend changing all your cord to something bright, neon, because digging through the snow, it's been a lot easier to find the cord on those pegs than for my stakes. So I'm just thinking as I'm packing this away that this tent isn't marketed as a 4-season tent, but the conditions last night, it sailed through them. Alright, the wind did drop off, but I've had this tent in really windy conditions, probably 35-40 mile an hour gusting, and it's held up really well. And given the fact that all I did last night to sort of stop the cold air coming in was build a little bit of a sort of snow wall up against the outer on the windward side, it was really warm in there. Alright, probably given the fact that I was in my Rab Ascent 900 and lying on a Thermarest, but I had a bottle of water in there with me. That didn't freeze over. The only thing that did freeze was the water on the outside of my gloves, and obviously that was, you know, a little sort of layer rather than a solid mass of water. But it's impressing me more and more. I mean, I've had this tent now for God knows how long, 2 years, maybe longer than that, and if you've seen the channel before, you've seen me sing its praises enough times. But this is a completely new experience for me and the tent, and it's coming through with flying colours again. I honestly cannot recommend this tent enough, considering the price it is and what it can do. If you're looking for something that will stand up to everything the UK can throw at it on a budget, here it is. I've committed the cardinal sin of not leaving a peg in, but it's so still. I cannot believe it. Gives you an idea of how warm it was in my tent. That's where I was pitched. Alright, I scraped a lot of it off before I pitched it, but I melted a hole in the snow. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like it'll fit, but trust me, it does. Maybe not with the extra snow in it. Now I've said that, I've jinxed myself, and there's no way I'm going to get it in. Trick is to kind of keep going round so you're not stuffing the sack in from one side, because you'll end up just folding the bag over and you'll struggle to get it in. So I always kind of turn the bag as I'm doing it. I can't get a grip on the bag with these gloves on. So it's not compressed down as much as it was yesterday, but that gives you an idea. It's a lot heavier than it was yesterday, put it that way. Wow, there's a lot of moisture trapped in there. This was supposed to be my cooking water last night, but we all know how that went. So I'm going to get rid of it. I don't need it for the way down. I've got a water bladder, which I always use. Some people prefer a bottle, but I don't know. I just like the convenience of a bladder. Right, I'm going to touch the summit once more and then head down. There we go, that's our tap out for the day. It's crazy how icy it is, honestly. Anybody up here in trainers or without any types of spikes, you're going to really struggle. But just literally coming off the summit there already, the wind has picked up. Alright, not much, but it's mental. Summit's right there. I camped right there, and I didn't get hardly a breath of wind. And now I'm actually getting lower, and it's starting to hit me in the face a little bit. So I'm just coming up to the junction now, where the horseshoe path heads off towards Pontadaff. You've got Condy is over there, Bath to Penavon there, and then the log ridge to the steps down to the reservoir down there. But we're heading this way, back down to Pontadaff. It's a place that's very easy to get lost in, especially in these conditions. So I know that in recent weeks they have put this sign up for the car park to say it's down this way, because the path itself, it looks clear enough, but when you're in conditions like this, like I said, it's very easy to miss. Don't know if you can see my beard. I'm starting to ice up already on there. I've only been walking for, I don't know, 20 minutes, probably not even that, but it's so cold, and the wind is at my back now, which is lovely. But yeah, it's just crazy how windy it can be down here and so still on the top. I still can't get my head around that at all. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll wrap it up here, because there's not really anything more to see that you didn't on the way up yesterday. Back down to the car, and it's the views are not going to get any better than this, put it that way. So there's no point on filming much more. But if you've enjoyed it, trust me, I have, then please like the video. If you want to see more, then please consider subscribing to the channel as well, and leave a comment down below. Do you prefer getting out in the snow, or do you rather wait until that sunshine for spring and summer to come around? I'll catch you on the next one, and cue the shot of me walking away from the camera. So I'd like to know how many of you get this far. You know when I say that's it, time to wrap up or whatever, do you turn off then? Or do you wait for this bit?